You can find out pretty quickly. That's what the answer is. So go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/HoNcast. Go to the Malakin Photobomb app and go ahead and let us know where you think, it's going to be held, and that'll give you a chance to, well, join us at the Grand Finals in Las Vegas at the Palms Hotel. Going to be a lot of fun, of course, no matter which 4 teams eventually get there. Going to be a blast. So cannot wait for that draft. Obviously, that's a little bit down the line in mid-April, I believe, but it is coming up quickly at the same time. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I still actually, with that picture, I don't even know what it is, so I'm an idiot.
Still in the lost, huh?
Yeah.
I have no clue. All right, but I believe game number 3, in fact, we are loaded in. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think it is time. Which team advancing on to the grand finals? Which team will face Lion Esports Club in the losers bracket tomorrow? Well, let's take a look. Game number 3. Stay Green on the Legion side, tdM on the Hellborn side. Again, big deal here. Stay Green obviously winning the first game. Trademark winning the second game, and into the locking phase we already go. Keeper of the Forest, Wild Soul taken care of by Stay Green. Parasite Fade coming out here by Trademark Esports. Tempest, the first ban, or lock, and then Zephyrophilia actually coming out for Trademark. So, possibility of seeing the Zephyr game here. Zephyr usually in that ban stage, but going to be locked up by Trademark. So, always dangerous to see the Zephyr.
Yeah, and I still find it interesting that Wild Soul's getting blind banned by the Legion team who was in first position. I know that Casey, who plays Wild Soul a lot, actually has been practicing him quite a lot. Has been had some good success with him as well. So interesting right there. Parasite Fade banned out by Hellborn. Yeah, all this is pretty standard stuff except for the Wild Soul being blind banned by the Legion. But Zephyr, he does normally get picked up, but if it is, it's either first of all, it's either banned, but if it is picked up, it usually seems like it's picked up in the regular picking stage and not locked. So I find that just a little bit interesting.
The lock pool definitely finishing off interesting. I mean, the Wretched Deck bubbles, but then Legionnaire even on top of that. Coming out from Trademark Esports. Legionnaire, again, he's one of those jungle heroes, which we do see from time to time, but he's kind of down on the list as far as the go-to jungles that are out there. But well, that's the captain for Trademark Esports. Wants to put him on the board as a possibility, perhaps. But it is going to be a fun lock-picking stage because, honestly, I look at it and I don't even know if there's an obvious first pick by any means out of that lock pool. So, and it is kind of rare that we see that. So, going to be fun once we get to that stage. Banning stage coming out, and right away you see someone actually banning that Demented Shaman. You look at the Zephyr in the lock pool, and you think Demented Shaman fits pretty well with him. So we're just going to go ahead and ban him, not giving them that option. If it comes to that, Moon Queen, Plague Rider, and Draconis are going to be the bans. Moon Queen and Draconis, by the way, both banned by tdM, so taking out a couple of the carries here.
Yeah.
And then there's the Engineer Pebbles to finish things off. So Tundra is actually on the board. Again, we always kind of just seems like we forget about him as far as his availability even. But he is available this game in game number 3. That's definitely the first thing that stands out to me, at least. Silhouette once again on there.
Silhouette's there, and then I mentioned, with Draconis being banned, I think it does increase the value of Silhouette just a little bit. Glacius is a pretty smart pickup, actually, seeing how Ophelia is in the jungle, and not even just that, but Glacius is just a good hero against the junglers, and just because junglers obviously utilize creep so much that it just slows them and just keeps them in place and pushes them away from your jungle if they are trying to do something offensively. So it's a smart first pick here.
Yeah. There's the Silhouette Empath, though, coming up from tdM. So Empath, back-to-back games now. Trademark Esports going to make this their go-to support, even with an Aluna on the board. I mean, last game made a little bit more sense. They're figuring that they're going to go for Draconis, perhaps, and I believe Aluna was either banned or in the lock pool or something like that. So they went with Empath. This game, though, passing up Aluna option to go with Empath, kind of making a point that they definitely value Empath as far as where she stands amongst those supports. So going to pair her up with Silhouette this time around. But back now to Stay Green, perhaps their carry of choice going to come out here. You do look at something like the Dark Lady, Forsaken, and those slicks loves to play. So we'll see what option they choose, though.
I still think Torture could be good here. I really do. I don't know, they have a lot of options. I really feel like Ophelia should be picked first out of that lockpick phase. And you could be very aggressive with Ophelia plus Glacius plus something like a Torturer. Or even Forsaken Archer, like you were mentioning, could be very, very good in the long lane. Or even, hell, something like a Corrupted Disciple. Just something that has range with a good spam ability, I feel, would be strong. and then you can maybe pick that plus something else for your short lane that can carry. Something like there is Wretched Hag in the pool. You could even go Zephyr. They go Dark Lady and Jeremiah. That was really crazy. It looked like something bugged there on my screen for a second. But Jeremiah Dark Lady. Interesting.
That can be deadly. That can be very deadly. And, you know, Jeremiah is just one of those heroes where it's like, God, crap, we have to fight against a Jeremiah if you're the opposition. And so definitely Trademark Esports, I'm sure they're kind of in that position. Now, you know, we have seen this lately. Electrician has become more and more of a popular pickup on the competitive scene lately. Not even necessarily for Jeremiah. He has actually kind of splashed down as a option, at least, for teams to pick up. So I'm sure that's something that tdM is at least thinking about. Not necessarily saying that's something they absolutely will go here, but it is something to keep in mind. But with the final pick, they are going to put some thought into this, of course, knowing that they're going up against a Dark Lady Jeremiah and Glacius so far. So, yeah, I mean, so you're expecting the Ophelia first pick here. It is going to be Tundra, actually. Interesting. So, again, Tundra, as I mentioned at the very beginning, left open, final picked here by tdM. Not a very strong final pick, with that said. The fact that they could get him, but we'll see if Swinamelons agrees on the Ophelia pick now.
Yeah, I mean, it would still be strong. They have a lot of... Jeremiah is such a strong and annoying hero to deal with, and they don't have like a Parasite available to be a good counter. They could have picked Electrician right there, which is a hero that not only just... Okay, it's okay against Jeremiah, but regardless, as you mentioned yesterday, it's just a hero that's been popular lately just in himself, like not even counterpicking anything. They actually go with Tempest, so they want a little bit of a stronger farmer here, I suppose. Interesting.
That is, you know.
I feel like the smarter thing to do would be aggressive and then create space, you know, for Dark Lady that way. And at the same time, now you have actually a lot of aggression coming up from tdM with Ophelia and Zephyr, which means lots of pushing at the same time, creating space for Silhouette. So I like what tdM's done, actually.
Now, and actually, you know, you were mentioning the possibility of an aggressive trialing from Stay Green. It's very possible now from tdM, probably, that could come out here because of the lineup that they got. Bubbles is actually going to be the final pick here for Stay Green. So it ends up being, yeah, you do look at Stay Green's lineup, and obviously it is a powerful one, with that said. At least the possibility is there. But yeah, the fact that they did pass up on that Ophelia, and sure enough, Trademark Esports goes to the Ophelia Zephyr combo themselves. So they got that push, they got that kind of group up and team fight, and as you also mentioned, even buy time for Silhouette to get her farm up there for Noob G. So yeah, well, this is it, Ralph. We got game number 3 here. Again, the team that wins this will move on to the grand finals of Cycle 4 here for the Diamond Division. The loser still in it, but they will have to take out Lions in the losers bracket first thing tomorrow to get a possible rematch in those grand finals. So, as again, Lions did just defeat Complexity, as we announced coming into this cast here, 2-0 in their series against them. So, again, big congratulations to Lions. I'm sure they're feeling good. Excited to see them tomorrow. Obviously, we'll be casting them tomorrow first thing.
Yeah. Legionnaire, I always say Legionnaire for some reason, but Jeremiah's actually got pulled a little bit of region. I wonder if he's going to be soloing mid. Usually that's the case. I mean, you don't normally get pulled region if you're in a lane with another support because they can just, you know, hand it off to you. So he's actually setting up shop in the mid lane. Top lane, probably going to be that Bubbles, being played by Keizu. Had a terrible start game 1. They actually won that game, but had an absolutely horrendous start. So hopefully here, for his sake, it goes a little bit better. Another thing to note about that, too, is, you know, that first game, they all 5, the Legion team, or Stay Green, roamed in their own jungle to prevent something. Bubbles still actually, Keizu's still sitting here. I feel like he should be walking towards that ward spot to ward it, or the pole camp to ward it. And he did this last time, and as a result, he didn't even get it off, as he had a very... you know, defensive ward placed last time. But he still died, so yeah, hopefully he's able to correct some of the problems that he had in game 1. But he'll be going top, Jeremiah going mid. Tempest obviously is going to deny the creep top and then go to his own jungle. Then we're going to see a Glacius Dark Lady at least starting out bottom. But yeah, I feel like there's going to be too much aggression coming out from tdM early on.
Yeah, obviously in a pause here to start things off, as on the Legion side, the ones that paused it, but just like, you know, pretty much every competitive game. Going to make it officially competitive. So coming out of this, though, going to be fun to see, you know, how things eventually shape up. But as you're kind of talking about, they again, kind of with Keizu not really rushing up here to place this forward side, that is does continue to kind of be interesting. But eventually we'll be able to get up there. You see, that is Zephyr with the pause screen. He's nothing. He's just air. I don't even see a
I know.
Actually, that's kind of funny. But yeah, he is setting up to play in that short lane currently. So Tundra using the badass skin of his. So Zai going to be playing the Tundra. Definitely a great Tundra player. One of the better ones out there, of course. So, yeah, I still can't get over the fact that, Lion is a team that we haven't really covered a whole lot of them lately. They continue to do fairly well in these HoN Tour events, but we haven't really given them a coverage. But obviously, again, we're going to be covering them tomorrow no matter what now. And I am excited because clearly they're doing well against Complexity. I mean,
I think Super KGE is one of the more talented players in the entire competitive HoN scene.
Yeah.
He is just, every single time I watch him, it's just always very, very solid play. So I'm very excited to watch him tomorrow specifically and how he plays. Just the whole team in general, as you mentioned. They're a very, very strong team and have had some very good results lately.
Yeah. So, and if anything, could possibly catch one of these teams off guard. Again, whichever team loses here, we'll have to play them tomorrow in the losers finals. And so, got to be careful about that, of course. Not to look far ahead as far as, wanting that rematch, but you got to get through Lions first and proving that they are a very difficult challenge. So,
yeah.
Hellborn team is ready. Now on Stay Green to be ready, and then we will be good to go. So, Dark Liddy being played by Slicks here, kind of similar in the sense of, as we talked about the Moon Queen in the first game, where you just do not want to let her get out of hand. As far as her farm goes, because she will tear you a new one, especially with a Jerizai to protect her. And actually, something I always like to look at, for one, is hero pickups against a Jerizai. There isn't necessarily a Purge hero. There's no Electrician or Parasite or anything like that. But the next is what item would be, or what hero could be a candidate for something like a Nullfire Blade.
Well, Silhouette could easily do it.
But so yeah, they have a Silhouette over here. Is that something that you would like to see, or is it not necessary, you think?
Yeah, I think so, because I don't really see Dark Lady going for a Null Stone. Like, an obvious counter to it would be the Null Stone, but even then, like, you can cancel it with a Tundra ulti if you so wish. That's kind of awkward, but yeah, just Dark Lady is not really a hero that you'd go for a Null Stone. Now, she very well could. That could be the strategy that they're, basing this entire lineup on. Don't know for sure, but now we are going to see this aggressive tri-lane in the long lane against the Glacius and the Dark Lady. Glacius is running around. They might just concede this, and Glacius just might go mid to help out Jerizai. And that's the smarter move. As we've seen time and time again, even though Dark Lady is going to be in this unfavorable lane, she still should be able to get some good CS with the Hatchet and with the Taint Soul ability.
Yeah, it's definitely should have a decent time to say the least. So we'll keep an eye on Slicks' farm and see how it progresses throughout the game. Right off the bat, Tundra using that cold shoulder of his to apply some early pressure on the Jerizai. But as you also mentioned, the fact that he got pulled that regen, not the biggest deal. Is going to go. He already ate the one tree. Maybe another one here shortly. But Ophelia is got a Vulture Lord first, so he's going to be able to farm pretty effective with that, but not necessarily set up the most effective gank at the same time. So Jerizai should be fine, of course. Granted, Jerizai himself obviously can be very difficult to also set up a gank on. So top lane, however, you do got the Glacius bubbles against that Zephyr here. That is very interesting, actually.
It's actually really smart.
Yeah.
Before, Zephyr actually was dipping down really low there, but one of the smartest things you can do against this kind of aggression coming out early on, that was a kind of early engagement there from Glacius. I don't agree with that at all. Yeah, he so to speak, he blew his load way too early. I think he could have actually waited until Bubbles put some more auto attacks because Zephyr had no idea that Glacius was up there. And that sucks because that would be the opening that you could have, is have Glacius come up there and surprise them. Zephyr thinking that he can man up 1v1 with the Bubbles, and then Glacius pops out of nowhere. So, yeah, misplay there by Z-Freak for sure.
Yeah, that could have been a definite bloodlust kill for Stay Green. Unfortunately, though, you're just talking about kind of, well, as you said, blowing the load. So Glacius is actually going to protect the regen rune here at the top. it is gonna be picked up by Jerizai.
At least it wasn't Minots blowing.
Oh God! Oh, you just had to go there, didn't you, Trell? So yeah, regen rune picked up by Jerizai. He actually was out of mana. In fact, he applies the protective charm and heals up before heals the creep, that is, before it even activates or falls off right there. So maximum use. Oh, missing the bloodlust kill though. Apologize, but Fitzke does get picked off by that Glacius and actually Tempest with the assistance. So I was so baffled by this regen on Jerizai. I do apologize for that, but missing the bloodlust anyways, obviously in favor of the Legion team. So at least Glacius being up there eventually does result in something.
Well, Fitzke was walking up there, had no vision at all, and literally just walked right into the Tempest and Glacius and found himself in a bad place. So he got caught out right there, and it's going to help the well, specifically Z-Freak a lot here early on. And we actually already see some rotation. Empath is now up here for good. And here's the thing, though. It's like you rotated, and now it's even though Tempest is in the opposite jungle, he's still gonna outfarm Ophelia. If Ophelia can't find some ganks, then he's honestly Ophelia's not too useful.
Glacius is in trouble. He's trying to prevent the stun from happening, but at the last second, Fitzke just applies it himself as he runs away, and it guarantees the kill on a Glacius. A great wall as well coming out. Again, Fitzke, both last game and so far this game, definitely makes the big plays there with that wall. But now Zephyr's in some trouble. The Showsurf going to connect. Song of the Sea not going to be used. He's out of mana, actually. Essence Drain coming out right there. The Tempest not going to be enough to save Zephyr, though. And down he goes. So mission accomplished. It ends up being really a 1-for-1 in the long run. And that's something that Stay Green can be pretty happy with, of course. So good collapse right there, specifically from Insania on that Tempest. And as you mentioned, not only can he have good farm in that jungle, but a kill on top of that, obviously going to help pretty big time there. So.
Yeah, and he's just going to out-farm slowly but surely this Ophelia. I mean, Tempest is just much more effective in the mid to late game than Ophelia is, and Ophelia's just not able to set up any ganks right now. But then again, how can you onto a Jerizai who's mid and a Dark Lady who's bottom who has the charging strikes to get away? Now, she actually is out of mana. This might be a cue for Ophelia to go down there, but she's actually still choosing to farm the jungle. She hasn't found a good stun creep just yet, and actually there's a Vulture Lord in the other hard camp, so getting a little unlucky as far as creeps go, but still not able to apply any pressure to really any lane as she's just farming. So it's like, if you were choosing to farm, why choose Ophelia? Why not like Legionnaire or something, which is in the pool? So
yeah,
that's the beef I have with the way that tdM is playing right now.
Well, I mean, so far, again, very, very even game, at least in the stats. 5 minutes in, so of course, very early on with that said. And we're really still in this laning phase. So, Tundra, by the way, with that cold shoulder, I do remember. So they changed the cold shoulder actually top lane. We do have some more initiation. The wall's going to come out right there from Empath. Zephyr's chasing though. Wants to get the kill on his KZ. The Shell Surf was already used. The Tornado's doing a little bit of damage, but Bubbles will get out of range and be fine. However, Glacius not going to be the same story. He's going to get blocked by some creeps even. Forced to go the other way. Can Z-Freak get support maybe from Tempest? No, he's not going to be able to. There's the Gust. And actually a hasted Tundra runs in as a limp on that Zephyr. Gets credit for the kill. So Glacius kind of just taking the sacrifice even for Bubbles right there, albeit he was fine in the end. But good kill nonetheless for tdM, and again specifically for Limp, who is will gladly take a kill at this point after the death he had early on. It's now 2-1 actually in hero kills.
Dive bottom lane.
Yep, this is what you're talking about. Ophelia finally going to be active, and sure enough, the double Catman champion army comes through and takes out Dark Lady. I believe she was out of mana still at that point too, so not able to charging strikes either. Yeah,
it was really close. I couldn't tell, but I believe you are right. And good setup stun there from the Tree Grabble of Silhouette. Set it all up and did a lot of damage with the Death Lotus, not to mention the Catman nuke. So that's what you got to do right there with Ophelia. You got to set up ganks and be effective that way. Because what does Tempest have that you don't have? Or sorry, what does Ophelia have that Tempest doesn't have early on? What's the ganking potential? Now, Tempest is level 6 though, and is actually still out farming the Tempest that took over the woods early on. So. That's just the power of Tempest being able to farm faster than Ophelia.
Tundra was chasing Tempest right there, speaking of him. It almost looked like he was actually trying to avalanche him right there to lock him in place and had Ophelia nearby for assistance, but in the end, just out of range and not going to happen. So Tempest going back to farming in the jungle. You talked about it though, the Ring of Sorcery he already has, so Insania doing fairly well as far as the start goes. Compared to that Ophelia especially. Jerizaiah, he's just been chilling in this middle lane. Well, not really chilling. Of course, he has been farming. Swinnamelon's playing this Jerizaiah. He's 35-12 now, compared to a 32-8 Tundra, who was doing a little bit of roaming there. So it seems like it's really been back and forth here in the middle lane when it comes to farm, at least. But, Jerizaiah is kind of one of those interesting heroes in the laning phase, where it's like, sure, you can, carry a Homecoming Stone and always be ready to port somewhere to protect your team and do turnarounds, but at the same time, we do see cases like this where it seems like he's pretty committed to kind of just sitting here in the middle lane and farming up more, at least till he gets maybe a Ring of Sorcery or something like that.
I believe he just purchased his, what do you call it, the Pickled Brain.
Okay.
I want to say that he did.
Yeah, he did.
But yeah, I agree. I think he does need a Homecoming Stone very badly to be able to turn fights potentially and whatnot. So.
Oh, bottom lane again. Here comes the double Catman champion. Gonna run into the Dark Lane. Now, she does have the charging strikes this time. Will be able to get it off in time easily. And it will be fine. But that was definitely setting up for a little bit right there. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Avalanche going to be used by Tundra with the counter on the Tempest. Tempest has an ulti, but couldn't get close enough. Jerizaiah is chasing but he's just not going to get it close enough. Actually, the freeze from Glacius coming over here. Tempest has a stun in 4 seconds, but no, Tundra's a little bit too fast with those Ghost Marches. Piercing Shards turn it around. The Protective Charm applied by Jeraziah, though, and in the end, nothing happening in terms of kills. Both teams sending some support over, but the chase initially onto Tundra doesn't result in a kill. They will, however, group up now, and Stay Green looks like they're going to try to push the spindle lane in what would be the first tower kill.
Tundra's great for counter pushing those. You already saw using those level 4 piercing shards. And you know, Zai actually went for a little bit of a different build, so to speak, on Tundra by actually getting Ghost Marchers. Normally we see the Steam Boots picked up so you can, you know, with synergizing with your bottle, especially being able to get the most effect out of them by spamming things and being tanky and whatnot. But actually the Ghost Marchers worked out for him right there. So choosing to go the Noob G route does pay off.
Zai taking advice from his teammate Noob G. Yeah, going the Ghost Marchers. So working right there, definitely. Ophelia and Dark Lady running into each other. Both just kind of do a love tap and will fall back from one another. So again, no kills coming as a result of it. I think I just saw Beastar purchased by Zephyr, by the way, and he does have the Life Tube and Shield. So Helm of the Black Legion going to be completed on him in about 9.5 minutes, so really 9 minutes. He's going to chase Bubbles there, who of course will Shell Surf away though. But Limp does continue to have a very good time at the top lane. He's now up to 331 gold per minute. But remember, too, they have a Silhouette, who actually is the top farmer in the game at nearly
Tundra.
350. And actually, Tundra is coming in for the gank. In comes the Avalanche. There's the Cold Shoulder, the Typhoon on top of that. And Bubbles just simply could not react in time. He doesn't have take cover. Not to say that he would have lived there if he did, but he dies. So, good gank setup, though, by the Hellborn team.
Yeah, very interesting. He doesn't even have one level of it at this point. Has 3 into Song of the Sea and not 1 into take cover at all. A little interesting, to be honest. But nonetheless, yeah, it wouldn't have mattered in that instance at all. Just the roam from Tundra. He already used the Shell Surf to get away not too long ago before that. So good gank set up by Zai.
Yeah, very good gank indeed. So what are we looking at now? But as I was saying, just going into that gank, Zephyr now has actually overtaken the top farm, but you still have the Silhouette. Noob G is just continuing to do very impressive when it comes to his farm. And then you do compare that to this specifically Dark Lady. She's struggling to even stay at 200 gold per minute. Again, you know, you look at the circumstances, really was a kind of a 1 versus pseudo trial lane in a sense here at the bottom, so maybe not too surprising, but you know, not having the impact at least so far, will be behind it in terms of this game earlier on because of that. Now Tempest, he will have to have a huge impact, and actually is pulling up a good amount of gold here. So it looks like Insania could be going for that quicker portal key. It doesn't even upgrade the boots once again, he talked about that, but going the Ring of Sorcery first, of course. But yeah, the portal key possibility here.
Yeah, I feel like upgrading the boots is just kind of negligible at this point. It's not really going to help him accomplish that much more. He already has a pretty big mana pool at this stage in the game. Doesn't really need much more mana than that until it's much later when gold costs a lot more and you have like a refresher on top of that.
And you know what? Ophelia actually throwing out her heal right there. I think that was more so for her creeps and if anything. But they're going to push this top lane, and it's going to fall. Nothing the Legion team can do to stop this, but welcome to Zephyr. This is what he starts to do, especially with an Ophelia on his team.
Yep.
They will group up and push towers like it's nothing. So, already starting that, and obviously this is where Stay Green needs to really start to do their best to kind of control it somewhat, as difficult as that may be, but kind of calm it down and control it. But again, a very, very difficult. What? Oh, Avalanche use. Okay, I was a little bit confused there. I didn't catch the target initially, but Tempest does get avalanched by Tundra, and obviously Silhouette is there to follow it up too. So, Tempest, Insania just in the wrong spot at the wrong time, and well, his GPM has honestly dropped a little bit too, especially after that death. Things are falling apart a little bit for Stay Green.
Yeah, and that was just good warding right there, spot him out. I think he was trying to go around mid to set up a gank onto Tundra, but just got caught out right there with the vision, spotting him out, and as a result died pretty quickly because, of course, he doesn't have that much HP, so he needs to be careful. And I feel like when you were so close to your blink, you might as well just not take any risks and just farm it out and then look to do something after that. But, you know, really looking at this another way, too, they don't really honestly have that good of counter push on the Legion side. It's basically a bubble shell surf and then a glacial blast. Like, that's about it. You can use the heal from Jeraziah, I guess, to push out creeps as well. And perhaps but it's really nothing that great as far as counter push. And you know, you're getting some core items up on the heroes that you need. Astrolabe onto Ophelia, Helm of Black Legion, plus presumably a Shaman Tetris in the making. Actually, it looks like it might just be a Frostborn coming out for Zephyr, but man, when they start grouping up as 4 and start pushing and then letting Silhouette just farm to contest in the late game, I feel like it's going to be really strong. They can pretty much group up anytime they want to right now, by the way.
Well, something I want to actually energize her activated by Tundra. He just purchased that. Going to avalanche onto Dark Lady. Dark Lady Genji charging strikes in time. The Tree Goblin going to connect. Dark Lady will get the charging strikes off. The wall attempt for Fiske unsuccessful, but still in trouble. And he comes out Calfell. So I'm going to see the turnaround here. The Soul's Blessing going to be used now. Tundra's in trouble himself, but the Astrolabe Appeal coming out from Ophelia, and just like that, once again, another turnaround chance. Glacial Downpour going to be used by Glacius will fall. Jeremiah, he's going to protect the charm, trying to stay alive. Only the 1 death so far to Glacius. Can Jeremiah stay alive? Total list. Protector charm still going to be out for a little bit. Nice wall from Fiske, and that will help finish him off despite the charm on him. Zephyr is chasing. They may catch Tempest. No, he doesn't have a porta key or anything like that just yet. Gonna go for the homecoming stone. It ain't gonna happen though. Zephyr chases a little bit too powerful, and down he falls. The Energizer once again used by Tundra there, and they are also going to get a tower kill. So working out beautifully for Trademark Esports, and it is starting to snowball now.
Yep, and to be honest, the Soul's Blessing from Jeremiah doesn't really do anything at this stage of the game. Like, it's going to get rid of the auto attacks from Silhouette, but they aren't doing that much damage anyway. Like, most of the damage coming out right now is all magical. So it might have looked like a great turn at first, but I was thinking in the back of my mind, I was like, this isn't really going to do anything. Like, they're running in there, but all the damage is magical at this point.
Yeah.
And even the piercing shards, I believe they're both magical and physical damage. Yeah, it's superior mixed damage is what it says. So, yeah, it just wasn't exactly the turn that they were looking for.
Well, and actually something else I wanted to bring up, so again, it seems like the Hellborn team's going to fall back. It kind of goes off what you were just mentioning there with how Silhouette may not be the biggest threat right now. It is more so Zephyr. And actually that's this Empath pick, when we first saw her, you know, she was picked up with the Silhouette, I believe. And so it's like, oh yeah, pair her up with Silhouette, they will do work. Especially at this point in the game. I mean, right now, Empath being inside of Zephyr actually can be very powerful, simply for the speed burst, if anything.
Yeah.
To keep Zephyr on top of this Legion team, especially now that he has an Ice Brand on top of that, for that matter.
Well,
so
you also factor in the you know, Zephyr can heal himself with his tornadoes, has double heal from Ophelia, like I always talk about, and a heal from the Essence Link from Empath as well. So you have a lot of different ways to keep you alive.
Yep, and they're going to go ahead and steal some Ancients there on the Legion side, so we'll gladly take that. There's the early Nullstone for Silhouette. So again, you're already having to deal with a snowballing Zephyr and the Hellborn team, and then you got a Silhouette who's now farming very well. Tundra is going to open it. Oh, we got the Shell Surf to be used right as soon as he avalanche. That's going to be really unfortunate. Oh, the wall actually helps Keizu a little bit right there. Pushed him forward. Here comes the Shiver, though. He will be able to spot him, and the Choreo helping to finish him off. Fiske actually getting credit for the kill right there. So, yeah, again, that was just great timing right there. Keizu gets caught out. You know, again, stay green. I hate to say it, especially with a Game 3 like this in a winner's bracket finals. I don't know, though. I just don't know if they got a whole lot left in the tank to make things happen here.
Yeah, well, I question just goes back to the drafting. Like, you had the option to take Ophelia. You already had a Glacius. I felt like it would have been very, very strong. Now, Glacius, like I talked about at the very beginning, when they first picked him, actually, it's very good for keeping enemies out of your jungle, but when you have a Tempest and a Dark Lady down there as your tri-lane to start, like, that's not going to keep out, you know, Ophelia, who was down there? Ophelia, Silhouette, Empath. Like, those are all range, and they're going to have a better map control to start. And Z-Freak just gets pummeled. I completely missed it.
Well, he tried to Ice of Prism him. He's like, oh, right, Nullstone. This doesn't work. So, yeah, he just dropped right there. Yeah, we're now at 11,000 gold lead, 7,600 experience lead. Again, I know I guess our graphics got a little bit bugged there on the screen, but this is game number 3 with, of course, both teams having the 1 game apiece. Here in the winners bracket finals, Trademark Esports versus State Green, but it is in favor big time of Trademark Esports right now. When you kind of look at the big picture, even if you just happen to be tuning in, I mean, you can tell they are in a great, great spot. 1,500 gold more saved up just about on Zephyr. In fact, even more than that. We talked about the Ice Brand, the possible Frostburn route that he could be going for. Triple stack Ancients as a team other than Zephyr doing this here for tdM. They're going to spread some farm a little bit. Noob G will take plenty of it, though, as he himself has another 1,600 gold. They got the Portagon Tempest, so good news for them. At this rate, I know you talked about the idea of a Nullstone and Darkening might not be happening, but especially with the way this game's going, could you argue just go for a Nullstone at this rate?
I suppose, yeah. I mean, they're pretty much in desperation mode at this point. But then again, even the problem with the lineup that you have for SG is, and especially against tdM's lineup, is you're not going to have any damage to cut through all the heal and tankiness. It's just not enough. And You know, with Empath being able to jump into another hero, that's just one less hero that you have that you can pick off for free. Because, yeah, he's a support hero, but when his host is a tanky hero like Zephyr with tons of heals behind him, it's basically like a hero that you just can't target. You can't kill him. So who do you really target on this team? Like, Ophelia? I guess that she's the only one that you could target, but you don't want to go on Ophelia. It's just the team makeup for tdM is much stronger than State Green's.
Yeah, this tower is going to fall. Obviously, it really shows you where they're at. They could do nothing against the secondary tower push right there. They just decided it wasn't worth it. You saw the protective charm on Tempest, but he portal keyed, if anything, to safety right there. He was not looking to jump in. So easy tower kill the middle. There go right to the top. Probably going to be the same story, different lane. Again, I do not see State Green really committing to anything here at this point. They just really need to worry about their base. And just hoping for the best there. Definitely need some mistakes to happen on Trademark. I mean, it definitely can. We've seen it before, but yeah, especially in these circumstances with this being the third and final game of the Winners Bracket Finals. Seems like tdM is definitely on the ball right now, so hope is definitely grim. Puzzle blocks, by the way, picked up by Tundra. Currently level 1, and actually, whoa!
Did he just walk?
I don't know. He just...
I feel like he moved. I don't know.
Did he? Was he trying to TP?
Yeah, he was porting.
Okay, that might have been.
Maybe he was gusted. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but I feel like he was free. I don't know.
Well, he died. Died quickly at that, and not that really opened up a Kongor, honestly, but they're gonna go for Kongor because they pretty much know that State Green ain't looking to stop you. No Fireblade is picked up, by the way, by Silhouette. So yeah, you talked about that, and sure enough, I'm guessing that's level 1. Yeah, level 1 no Fireblade going to be delivered here. So now the Protective Charm, as great as it is for this Legion team, especially with all the magical damage earlier on, as long as Noob G's on the ball, it's not going to matter because that'll be purged off right away.
Yep. Yeah, and even if you get a null, yeah, he's not going Nullstone either. He actually has enough for his Rune Cleaver, but I feel like it's just too little, too late. And you're just massively outfarmed at this point. 20 minutes, 15,000 gold lead for tdM. Yeah, I agree. They'd have to make a huge mistake, series of mistakes at that, to get SG back in this game.
See Silhouette doing a split up right here. Using the illusion, trying to scout out, and actually if he spots Glacius, it wouldn't put it past Noob G. Porting in fact, there you go, he ports in, but now he's in a little bit of trouble, honestly. There's a lot of support nearby, and oh, Tempest trying to do something, puts a Meteor down, but not going to chase in. There's a Tempest ultimate! Now he does have a token of life, so he's going to come back up right here. Will he have a port? Oh, no! Before everything was used. Oh, there's no kill field, I guess.
The game right there. I'd be so embarrassed.
I was going to say, I guess he could definitely port again, and sure enough, he does even before he dies. So they couldn't even get the token of life to be used. Oh, that sucks.
See, I thought it was like, okay, he's going to die here. Will he have enough time or enough of duration on his ulti that he can port back to it? But he got, you know, there was a second there after the ultimate from Tempest where he wasn't CC'd and just spammed that R. Spam.
The Hellborn takes down a Legion tower.
Yeah, Bubbles was definitely saving the kelp field for when he resurrected, but obviously, it's even if he used it, it probably still would have gotten away in the end. So good getaway there. In fact, here we go at the bottom lane. A big push happening. I thought I heard a portal key, but not going to go in just yet. In fact, that was by Tempest, so it's going to be on cooldown for a little bit. And remember, he doesn't have an ultimate. Obviously, using it right there. So, of course, Trademark Esports very aware of that. They are going to push Ophelia. Heal going out right there. Jerezai kind of in front. Look at Jerezai, by the way. He goes in Nullfire, or not a Nullfire, well, a Void Talisman, actually. Himself, kind of protecting him from that physical damage. But I mean, that's interesting because, you know, we're just sitting here stressing how much magic damage there is right now on the Hellborn side, and that could be a little bit counterproductive. But anyways, nonetheless, in a difficult spot, wall attempt right there, not going to be the best from Fitsuke, and Jerezai will be fine. This tower is getting close to dying. It probably will die here any second, as even Silhouette tanking the tower. So Zephyr goes up. There you go. Tower falls. Here we go. Targeting jumps in there. Protective Charm is on her. Bubbles with the follow. There's a kill field. Silhouette is going to get picked off right here. Looks like it's a cover. Darkness is also used. But Silhouette, of course, going to come right back. Got Typhoon in the background. Tempest getting locked down. He will eventually fall. Silhouette joins the party. Jerezai going to be bursted right there. No Soul's Blessing even coming out for. Oh, yeah, he did. Never mind. But anyways, not enough. Down goes Dark Liddy. GGs are being called. And it looks like it is going to be official. Trademark Esports will take the Winners Bracket Finals here over State Green, 2-1, and we will see Trademark in the Grand Finals as a result. So now State Green, obviously, this bumps them down to the losers bracket, where they'll play Lion Esports Club first thing tomorrow. for what is really a third-place match. Loser will be third, and then the winner of that will face tdM in the grand final. So I guess the conceivable hasn't actually gone through officially yet, but the GGs and everything have been called. The vote has even gone out. There you go. It is 100% official now. tdM are your winners bracket champions. So congratulations. It ain't over just yet as far as the cycle, of course, but they are in a prime position. Again, it puts you in such a good spot. You're up 1-0 now in the grand finals, best of 5. It's a very good spot to be in.
Yeah, absolutely. And the question is, can they live up to the reputation? And also, you know, they won actually in the first 2 cycles. So it'll be interesting to watch them. But they did make it to the grand finals once again, and congratulations to them. And I'm actually going to go back and look at their first. It fails me what exactly they ran that first game, and I wanted to comment on that, the game that they lost. But you know, overall, well played by tdM.
Yeah. State Green again. That first game that was the Moon Queen game where. Slickshot just they kind of in a sense allowed him to farm.
That's right.
Just
that's
forever.
What it was, yeah.
And there was that 22-minute null period, basically of just not a whole lot of action. And yeah, so State Green took advantage of that. But the second and third game, good comeback in that sense from tdM, giving them the series 2 games to 1. So again, it all sets up for a great tomorrow. Sundays are always fun. In fact, there you go with the brackets updated right there. State Green line, as I said, wasn't lying. Going to be in the losers bracket finals. Again, that'll be our first match tomorrow. That is set to start at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, 1800 Central European time. And the winner of that will be playing Trademark Esports in the grand finals to follow. In the best of 5s with tdM up 1-0. So,
yeah.
Boy, oh boy, as always, Trough, it is going to be a lot of fun, I'm sure, tomorrow to finish things up here for Cycle 4. Before we wrap things up here for today, however, we do have our last picture we are going to be showing you guys for our contest. And this is the last picture as a whole. Once this is out there, you guys will go ahead to our Facebook page and guess where you think it's going to be in the Palms Hotel. And then tomorrow on HoNcast, not only do we have some great HoN action coming at you, but we're going to announce the winner of this contest,
epic.
Who's going to be joining us and
So
everyone
exciting.
else in Vegas. It's going to be fun, man. We're going to announce the winner tomorrow live here on HoNcast, so definitely look forward to that. But here you go. Here's the last image for you guys to kind of guess with. It should be pretty obvious now. Just saying.
I still don't know.
I'm lost, man. It might say it somewhere on the picture. I'll give you that much.
Podcast?
Malikan? Yeah, so
Malikan?
Malikan shooting some hoops there at, well, you can
That
guess.
place.
That place on the hardwood floor.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead at facebook.com/HoNcast. Go ahead and like the page as you should. And then the Malikan Facebook app, go ahead and fill out which part of the Palms Hotel you think it's going to be in. And, well, there you go. We know now pretty much where the grand finals are going to be. Again, tomorrow we will announce it live here on HoNcast, both exactly where it's going to be, in case you still can't figure it out.
Or you weren't here.
Or you weren't here. Yeah, that's true. And then also who that winner is. So, looking forward to that. And then, on that note, too, real quickly here, if you don't happen to win, again, there's only one winner, I'm sure hundreds if not thousands of entries. If you don't happen to win, there is still actually going to be another chance to win through another contest, which will be a Refer a Friend program that we'll definitely talk a little bit more about tomorrow, but there will be another chance for you guys. So, but there's a Refer a Friend program that not only can you win a chance to the HoN Grand Finals, but you can win up to $100 in a gift card for Heroes of New Earth. I mean, that's
Sweet.
a lot of money there, and you know it actually is pretty easy to do. So we'll go into more information on that tomorrow, but definitely look forward to that as well. So
Yeah.
man, another great day in the books, Trout, but setting up for a beautiful tomorrow as always. Any final words on today, Trout?